What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be recapping all of the plays from the week of August 13th of 2021. We had a pretty interesting week and a solid week for all the swing plays. We had the SPY break all-time highs. We had some pretty interesting earnings. So let's get right into today's video. So the first thing we have to talk about was the amazing play with UPST. We've been in UPST calls, or call debit spreads, I should say, for quite some time. We got into these calls on July 9th, and then it was just an absolutely amazing play. We got into calls right here. We sold out a little bit before earnings, and we closed on the first day of the run-up. But, this stock exploded, and it was just an amazing play, and I'm happy we were able to bank on it. Like I said, we closed a little bit early, but I still think it was a pretty solid decision. I mean, the profits on this play were absolutely crazy. Like, I know for the call debit spread, it was around 178%, and then we had some people posting in the profits channel just some crazy numbers. I'm actually gonna pull it up right now. So in the profits channel, I know this was pretty risky, but Krusty just banked on it, so that was pretty awesome. So we're not going to spend too much time on it, but it was an awesome play, and I just wanted to definitely highlight it. So awesome job to everyone who played UPST. Then we also were holding, or we still are holding, Palantir calls, and that exploded off of earnings. Not as much as UPST, and we're still holding the Palantir play, but it's always good to see that run up. And we had Disney pop, which we're also holding Disney calls, so that was great to see. It was up a lot more in pre-market, and it ended up falling, but it is what it is. It's a longer-term play. We got into calls at a good price, and one thing I've noticed with Disney earnings is, if we look back throughout history, like on, you could say November 9th, you could say on December 11th, you can say on even March 8th, whenever they have these huge run-ups, you can see that they all have relatively large wicks, which means that there is a lot of volatility when they run up, and a lot of times they do dip before they end up continuing up. So either way, I still love to play it, and it's up pretty well. So I'm happy to see that one popping. On top of that, we have HAIN running, which we're also in calls for this. So we have a lot of good things in the works. Some plays are struggling a little bit, like WYNM, Tilray, RCL just a little bit. But, for the most part, it's looking pretty good. We're adding a lot of new plays, and we have a lot of good ones currently in the works. The Apple put debit spreads down a little bit, but, at the same time, at one point or another, UPST was down. So I'm not really too worried about any of the current plays. They're looking pretty good for the most part, and if anything, they need time. And, with the target play, we ended up closing out of the initial target debit spread and getting into a new one, and it's working pretty well so far. So if anything, we'll just roll the plays. But the swings are looking pretty solid right now, and of course we have to go over the theta plays. I mean, this thing is doing very well. Hunter and I are hammering away every week at selling puts, and it's working in an amazing way. So if you're new to trading, or if you just want like a relatively low risk strategy, I highly recommend checking out the premium selling channel. It's just great overall. Of course, you're not going to become rich with this one, but it's a nice slow and steady way to grow your account. And if you sell puts on stocks you like for the long term, it is a win-win. So definitely keep that in mind. And then let's cover the bot plays for this week. So overall, it did a pretty good job. I know Disney kind of ruined the sentiment from the week overall. Chewy was a solid play. JP Morgan, Palantir, DraftKings were all pretty good for the most part, and Disney was a letdown for a decent amount of people on Friday. Normally, when we see run-ups like this, we will see a pop back up. Like, for example, Disney tanked off basically right at open, and the bot was trying to play this bounce right here, and we ended up getting rejected pretty hard at that resistance, right around 186.50, and it just ended up not working. And what was interesting is the bot was early, but a little bit, I don't know, I feel like the timing was pretty bad. It called out calls, and they ran up for a couple minutes, and they just tanked off for the rest of the day. So I know some people made money on it, some people didn't. It all just depends where you took profits and your entry price and all that stuff. But besides that, it's been doing pretty well. I would say CHWY was the best play for the week. It was really low stress, called out CHWY, and, basically ever since it called it out, it went straight up. So it had a pretty good week. The swings were good, and I'm just excited to see how the rest of the swings work out. Of course, never over leverage, and we have a lot of good plays in the works. So make sure you stick around. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I know a lot of people only subscribe to the main channel, but don't forget to subscribe to the Stocked Up Live channel. But other than that, have an amazing weekend.